Hello, friends. I'm Donna Clement Petrushka, and I am honored to invite you to something truly extraordinary, the Kim Clement Prophecy Vault. Now you can gain unprecedented access to my father's entire digitized video archive. Every prophetic moment, every powerful teaching, every anointed worship session is now available to you in the Prophecy Vault. We've also enhanced the prophecy database, meticulously updating it with new video content and profound insights. Plus, I'm excited to share that my dad's special School of the Prophets teachings are included, offering you deep, transformative lessons on hearing God's voice and understanding his revelations. As part of your membership, you'll also gain access to my prophecy blog, where I break down and analyze my father's prophecies, connecting them to current events. This blog will provide you with exclusive insights and a deeper understanding of how God's word is unfolding right now. And we're offering something truly special: exclusive analysis sessions available only to members of the Prophecy Vault. These sessions will go beyond the surface, providing in-depth exploration of specific prophecies and their implications for today and the future. Your partnership is crucial. Not only will you gain access to these incredible resources, but you'll also help us continue the vital work of preserving, digitizing, and adding new Kim Clement material to the archives. So, I'm inviting you to step into the Kim Clement Prophecy Vault. Let's embark on this journey of revelation together, and I can't wait to see you inside.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome to Israel Update. As you can see, Doobie and I, we're smiling today. We're smiling. Doobs, you texted me and said, Kim Clement, the greatest
Yeah,
prophet of all time.
yeah,
Doobs.
definitely. We are just so blessed and so lucky to have encountered time with this unbelievable man of God. I mean, I'm getting the chills just
I
as I'm
know.
talking to you right now. There's so much going on in my mind, in my brains, so many prophecies that came to pass, and we have seen them happening, and one after the other, but it was like felt many times like it was on more of a personal level, and all of a sudden this is like the top of the global, I don't know, I can say, world class prophecy that was coming. I mean, you've been dealing with that on the House of Destiny
Yes.
together with Donné years ago, even before Donald Trump himself even knew that he's going to run or is going to be even interested in anything to do with politics. And I remember 2016, we were together standing on the soil of Washington, D.C., just together with you, Donné, with Charlie, and we were praying and asking God for
Yes.
the first time, just show us that we are walking with a true prophet. I mean, for us, we've seen so many things happening, but this was on a global level, and
Yeah.
and when it came to pass, we were sure that he's going to be reelected again, and we, oh my God, how much we were targeted by the
Oh
people
my
then
goodness.
that were saying, hey, you see, you can hit one, but when it's not real,
Yeah.
it's not real. And I remember, Christie, when you looked at me and you said, Doobie, maybe he didn't mean two consecutive terms. Maybe he meant that he'll go and come back again. And then
Yeah.
people say he's not going to run again. I mean, this is unbelievable. And I'm speaking about it not because I'm an American or you're an American.
Yeah.
We cannot vote or
No, we
anything,
can't vote. Yeah.
but we love Israel.
Yes.
84% of the Israelis voted on the polls that were taken by a left-wing media channel in Israel that doesn't like Bibi, doesn't like the right wing.
Yes.
They said, okay, let's launch a poll to see who the Israelis will back up. 84% of the Israelis said that before the elections that Donald Trump will be better for Israel than Harris. And that's why I'm smiling. I know that the challenges are huge. I know that people can change. I know that it doesn't have the same beehives of people that he had in 2016 until 2020. I know that maybe his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is a Jew and he was very close to Israel. Maybe he's not part. I know a lot of things can change. But you know what? Sometimes you say, God has a plan. And if God brought this man back from almost the ashes because the impeachments and the shootings and the trials and the convictions and whatever they tried to do, it was like a story of a modern age job, exactly where everything goes against you, where everything is collapsing, where people are trying to jump off the boat, and he stood there in the storm, back again with the greatest comeback ever. It must be of God. It must be of God. And if it is from God, for Israel. And that's why I'm encouraged. That's why I'm smiling. I know the situation in Israel, Christie, is very bad. As we speak right now, dozens of rockets fell near Haifa. Yesterday, a boy, 18-year-old, was killed working in a field. I mean, it's happening every day. And you know what? The first thing that I referred to when he gave his victory speech, he said one thing that was proven right before. He said, everybody said Donald Trump will bring war, seek for peace. That's what he did the first term, where the Abrahamic Accord were signed, where everybody said we are rushing into a war, and he brought peace. You know one thing, people look at Israel always in the midst of the war, but the Jewish people, just like you know very well, Christy, they are the only people in the world that the textbook of our prayer every day ends up with the verse twice a day. God, please give us peace. Give us the power for peace. Bless us with peace. In the midst of the wars, we always seek for peace. And we believe that this man, nominated by God, placed by God, bring peace to Israel and this thorn region. And maybe, I don't know, maybe sometimes there should be something severe. There should be a stronger war to receive a peace. But in the long term, that he will bring peace upon America and upon the Middle East.
Absolutely, Dubes. I agree with you. And, you know, it's really blown my mind just looking back at the prophecies that Kim gave, whether it was prophesying about how God would join the hands of the Republicans and the Democrats using a Kendi, looking at RFK joining hands with President Trump, prophesying about this new party that would emerge. Wow. And how we look at the MAGA movement, prophesying that Trump would be a trumpet, prophesying that he said, and I will place at your helms for 2 terms a president that would pray. He would not be a president that's praying at the beginning, but he would become one. And he speaks about how God would anoint this man with fire, with the Holy Spirit. He speaks about how they will say of him, he has hot blood. It's just, my mind was blown looking at it. And I know, Dubes, the truth is my faith did wobble in 2020. You know, I had a wobble. And it was my mother who said to me, Christy, my darling, Kim did not say 2 consecutive terms. And it was her who said that to me. And that's when I said it to you.
Wow.
And she never doubted.
Because you see, you have this very special way of looking at things and analyzing them. And, you know, I didn't go there because usually what we used to is 1 consecutive terms if you want to have 2 terms. It's unprecedented that you know, it never happened. So many things that never happened before. But the thing that I refer to when he gave the hint scheme about who's going to be this president and how he's answered now by Donald Trump, he said, you know, Kim mentioned gold. He mentioned gold, and we know that Donald Trump hotels is gold and his golden hair and everything. But if you noticed, gave his victory speech, he said, We are entering into the golden age of America. He
Yes.
said he used the same root, the same word. That's how precise,
Yes.
accurate was Kim, our beloved prophet. And you know what? Should go depth. They should register. They should join the House of Destiny. They have to see the prophecies because there's so
Yes.
many more that are still unfolding. We can very much be encouraged. That was my real encouragement when I came here by faith in the US. Tell you the truth, when I'm sending my bio to a lot of those churches and people that are asking me to come, and pastors and congregations, they ask me, what defines me nowadays as an access, as a source to the Christian world is definitely not my Jewish education standalone. It's the fact that with Kim, with one of the biggest, strongest Christian people I've ever met in my life, and he acknowledged the Jewish roots of his faith,
Yes.
and gave me the power and the strength. And everywhere when they send my bio to the churches, to people before I come and do my speaking engagements, they say, Doobie Sabo, who met Kim Clement, the prophet, 2010, and since then started da, 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 da. So
Yes.
a lot of people are referring to my walk with Kim. Try to imagine that all these people are watching, they've watched the prophecies. It was very courageous to come here at this time, because I can tell you, I've canceled probably the meetings if this is not going to pass.
Yes.
Because one of the mega things that I'm speaking about is the end times and the importance of the prophetic and the prophetic in this time and day and age, referring to what I've heard from Kim. And
Yes.
if this prophecy wouldn't pass, all these people say, well, what is not legit is not legit. He has no right to speak about prophetic. He has no right to speak about anything to do with that, because I put literally, as dangerous as it was, eggs in that basket, saying, I believe that God has a plan for Israel and America, and I believe that the words of Kim are about to pass, because there's no other way for Israel to get out of this situation with the current administration.
Absolutely, Dubes. And it's just so faith building and encouraging. And the only other thing I want to just quickly touch on, a lot of people have been asking me, and it's not the nicest thing to talk about, but it's something we need to cover. A lot of people have asked me about what's gone on with Bibi Netanyahu firing Gallant. And I want your perspective on that.
So look, it is tough because of the war. Very hard functioning Minister of Defense. But
a functioning Minister of Defense.
Yes. But you have to realize one thing. The day the responsibility is for Bibi.
Yes.
If it was only politics, only government issues, be very concerned because of that situation. Definitely because the replacement has not real background. Military. Gallant was commander in the SEALs. I was in the special ops. He was the head of the Navy. Is a great man. But I refer back. That's what I want to encourage the people. I go back to what Kim Clement said, and he said, Bibi is not just a king; he's also a prophet. And he might know things
that we don't know,
that we cannot. I mean, surface out there in the clear. But I want you to see and to understand one thing. And I know I'm taking a little bit longer, but this is something that I need to address, as hard and as tough as it is. And I'll get a lot of opposition now for saying what I'm saying. Nobody can stand in the boots of Bibi Netanyahu now when it comes to the question about the release of the hostages and signing a deal with the devil for that.
Yeah.
The main thing that Gallant is targeting Bibi now and speaking to the families and everything, he says Bibi has other considerations. The military is not rejecting the release. The military can and the army can take a deal. We can go through that. We are strong enough. Means to release thousands of mass, God knows whom, operatives with blood on their hands.
Yeah.
Netanyahu, the price.
Yeah.
The release of 1,027 terrorists for one soldier, Gilad Shalit, including Sinwar, architect of this massacre of October 7th. Bibi Netanyahu knows what huge mistake and the cost of what he did. And he doesn't want to trade, as hard as it sounds.
Yes.
Doesn't want to trade 101 hostages, many of them are not alive, for taking the entire nation of Israel hostage.
Yes.
Of thousands and hundreds of, while it was proven already that all of these people back to terrorism and become much more sophisticated terrorists.
Yes.
He knows the price. Those
Dubes.
people in the army, military, Shin Bet, Mossad, don't keep if they don't have people to capture, they cannot keep their jobs. So for them, it's okay. They're going to release them. Okay, there's more work now to try and bring them back and find them. So for them, it's okay. But this is not a game. What about the blood of those who already murdered by these people?
Yes,
they want to release also the Nukhba terrorists who raided on Israel, raped, destroyed on October 7th. They want to release them.
No, it's not
These
okay.
are the people on their list. Sounds hard. I know. Tell me, people, if it's your son, if it's your child, I would try to trade myself for my son and go in and die. I don't care. But I tell you, those soldiers fighting in Gaza now, in Lebanon, to capture these terrorists there. The families that already lost their loved ones and already had their children killed either in terror attacks on this war right now. What about their price? What about their sacrifice? So all the enemy has to do is sporadically capture a few Israelis, and go back to their price. Bibi knows the price. He cannot say it out loud.
Yeah, you're right,
he cannot speak it up, but it burns in his heart. He feels responsible for October 7th because he was the one to release all these terrorists from the universities, of the prisons in Israel, making them so much more advanced, learning so much about us, and being able to launch an attack like this that would never been possible if he wouldn't have released all these people for Gilad Shalit. That's the price. And nobody speaks about it, and nobody has the guts to talk about it, and everybody wants to be politically correct, and even Bibi wants to be politically correct. And that's why I'm afraid a little bit about his future, because he should stand there, look in the eyes of each and every one of their families and says, hey, your child might be alive or not. That's this life more than the lives of all of us right here in Israel right now. More than the lives that already been given. I know it's not popular what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I know people will hate me for this.
But it's true, Dubes.
For many years, I'm speaking mainly to American people. For many years, the American policy was, at least out there in the surface, we don't negotiate with terrorists. We make them surrender. Bibi wouldn't be with this administration. They wouldn't twist our arms around our back and would allow us to go all in, all out. Being in a place that don't supply food to them, humanitarian help. I see the Americans giving something to the Nazis or humanitarian help to the Japanese. There's one law for the Jews and one law for the world. We should put siege around Gaza, starve them to death until they surrender and bring our people back. Surrender, and we take down the beast, feed it under ultimatum right now. Current administration that in few days or a week or so will end up, if we don't bring more food and humanitarian aid, to the Hamas in Gaza that already started to shoot us yesterday again. Oh, they're going to stop embargo. They're going to embargo weapons on Israel. We are commanded to feed that wants to eat us alive.
Yes. Dubes.
In the world, have you heard anything like that?
Yes. No, you're correct. The standards are totally different. And what's put on the Jews is impossible. What's put on Israel is impossible. And so your perspective, I think, is really amazing. It might not be popular, but you know what? That's something that I always appreciated about Kim. He didn't say what was popular. And you too, Dubes, you've said a lot of things that might not have been popular, but they were correct. And so for everybody out there, every week we're committed to coming and bringing you the truth. We're obviously, thanks be to God, we're so grateful to God that, you know, Trump, the friend of Israel, is back in the White House. He will be back in the White House as of January. We're very grateful. But this doesn't mean that the war ends. You know, now we've got the next couple of months where we don't know what these terrorists are going to do because they know that Trump's coming back. They're expecting sanctions. They're expecting, you know, restrictions.
I tell you what's going to be happening. That's what happened the second that Fox News announced, and they were the first people with courage. The first announcement by Fox News that they said Donald Trump is the president of the United States. They said that he's the 47th. That very second, Hezbollah launched over 12 rockets, Golan Heights.
Yes.
Symbolically, you know, we have a settlement in Golan Heights called Trump's Heights. They targeted this immediately with the rockets to show what they think about that. He's the only man who can bring them back down to their knees, supporting Israel, giving us the opportunity to get the job done.
Yes, absolutely, Dubes. And we thank God for that. We thank God for who he is. We thank God that this is also just an exposing. This is what this regime, these terrorists did not want Donald Trump in because they know what's coming.
Christie, what I would like to ask you, please, I know it's a little longer, please pray until the inauguration, until they're going to get in office. Please pray. We're still in the hands of this very administration. You know, I'm afraid that Kamala elected, that she might use the Article 25 now to take out Biden for being able mentally carry on the job, and also for wanting to be registered, maybe for the first woman president. She has the power to do that in American politics.
Yes.
And that would be bad because this means that Obama will be behind the scenes once again. You know, Obama called Trump to tell him that we are going to transfer. What Obama has to do with it?
Exactly.
The man that still runs the show from the back. That's my fear, that she's going to do, because look, in the end of the day, Biden was captured in his own administration. He is a Zionist from within. He loves Israel from within. He loved Golda Meir. He's not capable. He doesn't know what date is today. He has problems with this. I'm afraid that she's going to use Article 25. That's probably where you hear it first. Remember that she might use that, and then Israel will be in a big trouble in the next 2 months or so.
And so that's something we're going to keep praying about and keep trusting God that will not happen in a continual exposing of their plans. But thank you for joining us. We continue to pray. It's what we do. And make sure you tune in tomorrow. Donna, Charlie, and I are going to be talking about the election as well and playing some prophecies of Kim's and also reading an email that he had sent to Paula White just before he got sick, talking about the words that he had for Trump. And we found that email. So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. But God bless you. Shabbat Shalom. Go in peace and pray for the peace of Jerusalem. God bless you.
Amen. God bless you all.
You could have 6,000 Facebook friends and be extremely lonely. You could be in a marriage, many are, and are extremely lonely. You could be in a mega church and be extremely lonely. So the presence of people certainly doesn't do it. It's the knowledge of the love of God, the experiential knowledge of the love of God that fills that spot.
I don't want to say there's a cure to it, because I don't know how every single person feels, but I do know that giving back to other people can really make a big difference to the way we feel.
Is there a cure for loneliness? Yes. Just like Pastor Foss said, yes, there is. And that all becomes in just saying, God, I need you.
Watch now at real-faith.tv.
I'm excited to announce my all-new mattress topper. In the times we're in, I wanted to bring you the best affordable mattress topper ever. So I took my two best technologies and combined them to make the ultimate mattress topper. And now you can get it for as low as $69.98. Queen size only $99.98. It all starts with my famous MyPillow foam that provides you that overall full body support. Second is the individual comfort supports that give you an amazing custom sleep experience. It's like it's made specifically for you. The queen size alone has over 14,000 comfort supports. This is the perfect mattress topper to improve any bed. New bed, old bed, your guest beds. Get them for every bedroom in your house. Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the all-new My Mattress Topper for as low as $69.98. Queen size only $99.98. Don't delay, order today.
We here at the House of Destiny are partnering with you to let our viewers, of course, know about your company. It's Beverly Hills Precious Metal.
Andrew, explain how that works.
So I'll walk you through it right now. So if you go to bh-pm.com, right there on the homepage, you'll see a form that you could fill out. And that form is very important in letting us know how we can help you. So you just put in your first name, last name, email address, phone number. There's a section that says, how did you hear about us? And in there, put Kim Clement. And then there's a portion where you could write a couple of notes down on the bottom. Usually within about 24 to 48 hours, we'll contact you by phone call, and then we'll go over everything with you. This isn't a high pressure deal. We always recommend that if you feel uncomfortable, take a step back, pray about it. You will gain the answers that you need by doing that, and come back to us when you're comfortable.